Oh, bit check for my napalm era.
Hey guys, my name is Alex. I'm a composer and sound designer. And who is this who's with me here today?
Oh, hi! Didn't see you there. My name is Samuel. I am also a composer.
So today we are ranking the songs from K-pop Demon Hunters. Now I don't know about you, but this film has been on my mind constantly for like the last 2 weeks at the time of filming this, but what about you?
Dude, I cursed the hour you told me to watch this, because when I had, it didn't leave my mind. I've been obsessed with this thing. We are both obsessed with all the songs, so when the ranking part comes in, don't expect anything to, like, even if it scores low, to be bad. Everything is good.
And just as a disclaimer, we say that we're ranking every song in this, but we are only analysing songs that are sung by characters and that significantly progress the story forward. So for example, we're not using songs like Jinu's Lament or Strategy, which is more of like the overall score behind it.
So, we're gonna be ranking these songs on some main criteria, mostly lyrics, both in context and out of context of the film, melodies and motifs. We're also gonna be ranking the production, how the voices sound, and some more technical elements like harmony and rhythm.
And also, if you hear any examples of audio or see video in this, it might be slightly altered because we have to get rid of that pesky copyright by YouTube, so some audio might be slightly pitched up, or we might have to include really small sections of it, but bear with us. Well, with that, shall we go into the first song then?
Woo!
Let's go.
This is probably the only fully cinematic score we're gonna have in the rating. It sets up one very relevant motif that's going to keep recurring throughout the movie.
The melody that the vocals sing is sort of an embellished version of that melody. We are hunters, voices struck. Can't hit that note. But it's similar enough that it feels like a sort of leitmotif. And it's used a lot in the underscoring for the rest of the film, as you said. But towards the end of this piece, there is this sort of lilting melody, which has these sort of strum chords and this bowed instrument. I'm not sure what it's called, but I believe it's the same theme that plays when Rumi first meets the tiger and the bird. But man, what a good way to sort of call back to the beginning of the story by creating that theme.
Yeah. Also want to say that the song has a lot of traditional Asian instruments that kind of calls back to the past of the hunters. So thematically, including those instruments could be argued that it's like relating back to their duty as hunters and show how this has been a thing that's been passed by generations. Also, it's the only piece that is fully in Korean.
And of course, like many other songs in this score, it's cut to the film. So like there are some sections in the online version that you don't hear in the film, but otherwise this is an awesome opener score-wise.
I don't think it's gonna stay near the top, but right now it's number one.
Yep, right now, firmly number one.
But spoiler alert, the next one is gonna dethrone it.
Let's see what happens next.
You came at a bad time. Eating you is what I do. La 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 la. How it's done. When I was done. How it's done. Something about when you come from the crowd that's so humble and high. Heels, nails, blade, mascara.
Bit check for my napalm era.
Mirror on my phone. Who's the baddest? Hello. Done. I don't talk, but a bite full of fentanyl. How it's done.
Oh geez, there is so much attitude in this song. This is how you open a film. This is how you set the status quo with a song. Like the way EJ, the queen you are, she really attacks those notes, like knocking you out like a lullaby. And the word I as well.
To me, this song is gonna get extra credit for a few things. Number one, I'm a KDA fan. This song reminds me of Pop Stars by KDA. Number two, the animation sequence when they're jumping off the plane and like free falling. Oh, it's so peak. Imagine starting your film with this high level of animation and action happening, and then they arrive on stage and like everything explodes. Oh, so cool. More extra points because the lyrics, hard bars. The heels, nails, blade, mascara, bit check from my napalm era.
era. You can't tell me that it hasn't been stuck in
my
your
head
head,
forever.
honestly.
On some of the production notes, I tried to analyze how they did that pre-chorus, and I kind of came up with a recipe that they did. So obviously main vocals, then the tambourine on the drums, which also adds more impact, steady accelerando drum, pitch up synth that is like keeps propelling the pre-chorus forward until it finally explodes in the chorus, and then the chords, using that orchestral hit sample.
So what we're talking about by orchestral hit is, it's known as the Stravinsky orchestral hit. I know Bruno Mars uses it a lot.
All this creates so much tension and build-up.
Yeah, there's like really good use of sampling in this too, like we were talking about the sound of the crowd.
Which makes it to the actual recording. It uses claps on the like second chorus and the crowd noises. It's very on theme. This show is obviously very inspired by all the other girl groups defeating demons of the past. Think about your Sailor Moons. This is completely defining a new genre. They aren't just coming in and defeating evil with the power of love and friendship. No, they are aggressive, they are powerful.
The characters are really one of the biggest strengths of the film and really one of the most successful parts. Like, these girls, they're fighting people, but they're also very caring. They're also very silly at times.
I think that's perfectly encapsulated by the start of the fight in the song. They're literally fighting while they make instant ramen.
Yes!
I think that kind of just like covers it up perfectly.
Yes!
So this song, firmly planted on number 1.
Yep.
God knows what can take it over, but this goes straight to number 1.
Yeah.
I think it's actually one of the best in the whole soundtrack, but we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Well, we will see what comes next. Will it be dethroned?
We're going up, 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 it's our moment, like a butterfly. It is so
Oh my god, drama!
break this. No more hiding, now be shining. I'm done hiding, now I'm shining like a butterfly.
No wonder this song has been on the top of the Billboard Hot 100 for such a long time. Like,
Yep.
it's such an earworm. I'm gonna say this song probably has the most insane vocals.
It's crazy.
It is, like, and it's definitely not an easy thing to sing as well, because she's jumping from notes. It's not like a scale, which is usually easier to reach. She's like, I'm done hiding, na, 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 na. Not even talking about the absolute range of this song too. What's the highest note? Like I'm gonna be, like all the way up there.
Yep.
But in the bridge, she's going, no. I can't even hit the note that she reaches. No more.
Save some range for us. I think the biggest point for me why this song maybe doesn't hit as hard is because the film primed me to think this way. Because thematically, all these lyrics that she's singing about, no more hiding, they're all lies.
This song is all lies.
Exactly. So one of the biggest themes of the film, as we'll see in a lot of other songs, hiding all your fears and shames is not the way to defeat them. And what is this song? But just them propelling forward the idea that they're perfect and they have nothing to fear and they're all like great. When in reality, and we see this in the bridge in the film, it's the opposite.
It's such an incredible sequence of matching a song to film as well, because if you just go through that whole scene, everything that they're singing, they're on stage, they're all in costume, it's all a mask. And we get to the bridge section where she is alone in her dressing room, and although the lyrics are a mask, it's kind of like the music is also telling the truth, because Golden, it's all quite flamboyant. We hit the bridge, tempo slows right down, the production becomes
False.
thinner. Suddenly all we have is like a piano that's accompanying her and maybe a few synths in the background. And as soon as she starts putting her jacket on, production starts building up, the instrumentation starts building up, and so does her range. That's also a thing I have to say, is during the bridge, her range that she sings in is so much smaller compared to the rest of the song, and then it's like that mask goes back up again as soon as you hit the chorus. Beautiful storytelling through a song and instrumentation there.
Incredibly smart by the writers. Another thing, and this is about the relationship between the characters. So this song is mostly Rumi singing. Zoe and Mira barely have any lines, and they're only like the harmony, which again, reflecting back on the story, they are being distanced by Rumi. Rumi's like hiding from them.
The melody from this acts as a leitmotif for a lot of the rest of this film. The whole motif of no more hiding, I'll be shining, it's used a lot in the score. Usually in moments where there's like doubt
I think it's so well made how in the context of the film, they want to push this song because it will seal the On Moon forever, turn it golden. But then it's the song that breaks it the most and damages it. It's very cool. An interesting point about the production, synths are cool, drums are cool, but like nothing special. There's definitely like the weakest drums, I think, from the soundtrack.
Maybe that's for a reason. Because this song, it's supposed to be your average, like, commercially successful release. And let's be real, the main point of this song is the vocal performance, because that's what stands out the most.
Yes. Alright, let's rank it. So, does it beat how it's done? I think no. And I don't think it's particularly close.
I think Golden is below how it's done. I think it's above Score Suite. I think it's wedged in between the two.
Yeah, alright. Golden goes right in the middle.
So we got Golden at number 2.
지금 당장 나가 시간 없잖아 My little soda pop You're all I can think of You're my soda pop My little soda pop Just can't get enough
Modulation? What?
Key change!
Pull me up on one Gotta take every drop
Refreshing. Soda Pop. What a cute little song.
It is cute. It is a cute song. It's very earwormy as well.
It's definitely one of the funnest ones in the soundtrack, because it's kind of just like, there isn't much to analyze here in terms of lyrics, but I did think of something that I hadn't thought about before. Tell me if this is a stretch.
Okay.
But you know the soda pop metaphor? Obviously it has that innuendo, but what if it's also a metaphor for how they drink the souls of the fans?
Gotta drink every drop. I don't think it's too far a stretch. There's a lot of metaphors, we feed off your energy. On the surface, it's really cute. These lyrics, there's so many double entendres in these lyrics. Like, I had to pick one of them out. I'll put them on the screen. I'll put, like, the lyrics on the screen or something.
Till my soda pop fizzles out is wild. Kids film, by the way. This is the only song with a modulation. That's interesting. Although, I have a criticism. I know, rare. This is not gonna come up a lot. But the little mouth noises of that they keep doing in the production, God, it's jarring. Once you hear it, you kind of can't unhear it, and it's like, I wish they didn't do it so much. But that's maybe me, but I think it's kind of like...
I think it's just like the whole song, it's so quirky, and there's so many like sound effects that play into it, like the sound of a can opening or fizzing.
Yeah, can sound effects. It's a cool touch. It's definitely a cool touch. Alright, where are we putting it?
God. Where do we put this one?
It does not beat how it's done.
No,
that's
no,
for
definitely.
damn sure. Alright, easy beating Golden? Nah.
No, not beating Golden. Is it bad to say I'd actually put this one at the bottom for now?
I can see why. See, I want to put Score Suite lower, but at the same time, it's so beautiful.
Well, of course, I might be biased because we're both composers for screen and, like, often write scores, so I'll always love a score over sometimes, like, a catchy pop tune.
Especially one that's kind of like, God forgive me for these words, but one that's so, like, kind of brainless. It's not brainless, fine. But, like, in this context of the film, it is.
I hear this song so much, it's having the same effect as, like, Jess Glynn, Darling, hold my hand! Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday. Like, it's, like, that kind of same
True.
level of earworm to me. I'm just hearing it all over the place.
So, the final verdict is Soda Pop is at the bottom, where composers were objectively right. Alright, next song.
It's a takedown
So sweet, so easy on the eye. Hi, baby, nice try. I'm about to switch up these vibes. Break you into pieces in a world of pain. 'Cause it's a takedown. I'ma take you out. You'll break it down like what? I don't think you're ready for the takedown. I'ma gear up and take you down. Look at all the messes that you're fooling. You can try, but you can't hide. It's a takedown. I'ma take you out. You'll break it down like what?
What a banger!
Oh god, this is like same level of like badass as how it's done.
I think it went up a notch. I think so far this is the like most well-produced song that we've listened to, just because there's a lot of stuff happening there.
Yeah.
Again, extra points. We're awarding extra points for stuff we like. I like how in the film it shows them composing the song. So fake band
Yes.
composing the real song. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Speaks to our heart, of course. That's exactly how we write our music.
That's how they're just like us. And the moment where they're like beating up the demon and it bounces off of the wall in a weird way, and Mira's like, "That's the beat." Yo.
You're telling me, yes, that's exactly how we get our inspiration for it. We hit random objects and go, whoa, okay.
Yep.
Just looking at lyrics, you could almost see this song as a polar opposite to Golden. It's a take down, we're going down. Golden, we're going up. You know, it's like opposites, and it kind of makes sense. Golden is all about hope and embracing your flaws, according to them. But this one, it's straight up diss track.
Another thing on the narrative, very cool that in the film they're writing this as a diss track to the Saja Boys, but then they use it as a diss track to Rumi. Oh, peak.
The double meaning behind this song is an absolute chef's kiss. You remember in the rest of the film she was always hesitant to sing this song, probably because she was feeling a bit guilty about it and being like, oh, this kind of hits
obviously,
a bit close to home here. But I'm not going to tell anyone that.
Demon with no feelings don't deserve to live.
Exactly.
You can tell she has a hard time with that one.
I don't believe we actually hear this song in full throughout the whole film. The bridge doesn't exist in the film, which is such a shame because it is so good. We hear this first time when they decide, okay, we're going to write this song, and when they're going through these several awards and the Saja Boys keep winning and then they keep winning. I know we hear it again when they're fighting on the train. I just absolutely love that vocal choice to bring out the production, so it's just synths underneath instead of these like hard-hitting drums, and how she switches it up and sings it in her head voice.
Never been smashed up. I don't think you're ready for the takedown. A demon with no feelings don't deserve to live. It's so obvious.
Again on the production, there's so much stuff to like here. I mean, first, the sub bass. It's like a really cool sub bass that like kind of propels everything. It's very nice. Also, I'm sorry if you can't unhear this now, but it's got the Billie Jean chords from Michael Jackson from the second verse.
As soon as you pointed that out to me, I was like, oh no. I'm gonna hear that forever now.
I also think that in the pre-chorus, the electric guitar with a heavy distortion is such a nice touch because it's such an aggressive song. That's an aggressive instrument. And finally, how in the final chorus, it switches up to like a Brazilian funk beat and just like rhythmically changes completely.
I love that they do that, and I'm sure this is a thing that's pretty indicative of K-pop in general as well. It's just like using every drum beat in your arsenal in one song.
Yeah, the drums are really not static.
No.
They just keep changing. It's very cool. I will say, when we go to rating this, I might be slightly biased because I did make my own version of this song.
Go check it out. Very gothic.
Before we move on, let's quickly mention the Twice version.
Yeah, please. Same song, just done by members of Twice. They're very similar. What are the like minute differences here between these two songs?
First, the singers are very different in the way they approach the lyrics. So, while I can say that in the chorus and the pre-chorus, the Twice member who's singing it really goes for it, and I really like that energy, but they're not acting as much as in the original version. In the original version, they're in character.
Small differences, like they add a few more harmonies here and there, they add a few more original ad-libs.
Obviously, it's going to be a bit weaker, but not because it's not good. It's still a really great cover, but it's kind of hard to compete.
Yeah, the only major difference I can really hear is you can hear more of their accent come through when it's Twice singing it compared to the original version.
So I think we both still prefer the original, but this is still good.
This is still good. It is.
All right, time to go rank.
Honestly, I would put these songs on the same level if I could.
Unfortunately, that is not the format of the video we must pick. I think How It's Done is still better. That's my
I
opinion.
think so too. I feel like I kind of prefer the chorus of How It's Done. Shields extra points, the fact that How It's Done includes its bridge. Takedown does not include its bridge in the film, so there you go.
All right, is it gonna beat Golden?
I think so. So I think it's How It's Done, then Takedown.
Yep.
Oh god.
All right.
Alright.
Ready for the next song?
Why does it feel right every time I let you in?
Between imposter and this monster, I keep coming back to why does it feel right?
I try to hide, but something broke.
We can't fix it if we never face it. Let the past be the past till it's weightless.
If this was a Disney film, this would be the a Tangled I See the Light moment.
There are very interesting things here. They assign different instruments to each of the characters' verses. So when Rumi starts singing her verse, it's like a piano counter melody / accompaniment. And then when Jinu starts singing, it's like an E-piano. And when they're both singing together, it's like a stringy, organy synth that plays. There's a lot of other cool stuff, like a syncopated, clean electric guitar in the chorus, the strings building up in the final chorus.
This song is all about, well, being free. So you would think this is why it's so ambient.
Ambient being the key word here.
At the very beginning, there's almost like this like word painting almost. Like the words kept catching in my throat. She could have sang that completely straight. When she sings catching, it's almost like it slightly gets caught, the words get catching. Excellent use of acting first, voices second.
And also, we love the rapping section that Jinu does. The triplet flow he uses works so well.
Rumi and Jinu's verse, they're very much contrasting. Rumi's singing is quite slow, it's like I try to hide but something broke. With Jinu, of course, his verse is really semi-rapping. He is singing it, but it's semi-rapping.
Yeah.
And it contrasts so nicely with the chorus before it. When Rumi sings free, she sings it melismatically. Because she's singing multiple notes to one syllable, it really adds to that sense of openness. The verse has been quite low down in the register. I try to hide. You get to the chorus, suddenly it's going free. It's going up high, you know. I mean, I think I can hear in the production. I think there's a bit more reverb that comes into play when these parts of the chorus come. It's like the song is taking a collective breath.
And I think we'd be remiss to not mention how beautiful the harmony is throughout the whole song.
So good. Excuse us if we go into a bit too much musical detail here, but this is what we do. The reason why I think it sounds so interesting, rhythmically first, is because the word that is emphasized is always syncopated, a quaver before the bar starts. So because it's almost like it's tripping up before you get to the next bar. And I think that really makes the momentum go forward. It's like, what does it feel like every time I let you in? What does it feel like? Singing on the offbeats. Also, what I think really adds to that feeling of floating is that in that part of the chorus, the melody line often avoids stable tones. So by that we'd mean the first, the third, and the fifth. If you take the what does it feel like, those two tones are, I believe, the second and the fourth degree of the chord that we are in. I believe it's in D flat major, but the chord that we're hearing at that point is a G flat major. It's all using extensions, so it feels like you're floating. It keeps you in anticipation. It's like your ear is really wanting that resolution to come in. In terms of the harmony of when Rumi and Jinu are singing together, they usually sing in thirds, sometimes in fourths.
I think it's important to mention the meta, I guess, for like singing harmonies, either fourth or sixth.
Mm-hmm.
So the third is like, sounds like just close enough to still be like not dissonant. And that consonance, not only does it emphasize the harmony between them, but it also sounds just different enough where it's still interesting.
You know, the third is a very stable tone. If you were to look at the bass line in the chorus sections, the way it starts, it moves up quite nicely stepwise to where it has to go, because it would sound a bit jarring if it jumped about all over the place. If it was a more up-tempo song, I suppose that would make more sense, but for something like this that's supposed to sound really smooth and fluid, just very good use of voice leading there.
Yeah, I feel like all the production in the song is just working to the benefit of either predicting or coming towards the main melody.
Doing things like reversed cymbal hits to transition from one section to another.
Yeah.
I know that this song, much like Golden, also forms the basis for a lot of sections of the score in the background, usually in scenes where Jinu and Rumi are together. Even if you don't hear the melody specifically, you'll hear like the chords that they use, and I think that's just a really nice touch of, I guess, foreshadowing. A lot of the time it is foreshadowing because you sometimes hear it before this song is even sung.
This is really hard. Mostly because this is kind of completely different from the other songs we've been ranking so far. This is a ballad, basically.
It is.
Does it beat Soda Pop?
Yes.
Easily. Okay. Does it beat The Score Suite?
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Does it beat Golden?
I think yes. I personally listened to this song more than Golden.
Completely agree. Okay, now this is tricky. Does it beat Takedown?
I think it's below Takedown.
I have to agree.
I think it's between Golden and Takedown. Like,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, I love me a ballad. usually.
But when you're thinking about thematics as in the context of the film, Takedown is way more important. It serves a lot more narrative purpose than this song. While this song is important because it's about Rumi and Jinu's connection. We can see that connection doesn't last that long.
The lyrics are kind of just take it as you see it. Like, they're quite literal the way they are written. Not that they're bad, they're good.
But that's on purpose because they're being honest and
They
they're
are.
like putting themselves forward.
I agree, yeah. Between Golden and Takedown.
Yeah. God, this was the hardest one to rank so far.
Listen, cause I'm preaching to the choir. Don't let it show, keep it all inside. Listen, cause I'm living in your mind now. When you're all a part of me. Preaching to the choir. Can I get the mic a little higher? Be your idol.
Ooh, this song is dramatic.
Love a bit of Dies Irae.
Just perfectly ties into the thematic material. Like, of course, a song sung by demons is going to be gothic as hell.
So much references to like religion, and obviously with the Dies Irae you can't really not do that.
Yes.
But also like with worshipping, because thematically it could easily just be interpreted as the obsessive relationship that some people have with idols. You know, the parasocial relationship and how people put them on pedestals and worship them.
True, like, think about Be Your Idol, the whole thing of the idol industry in Korea. We were discussing, like, could this song be from Guima's perspective? Because he is the leader, he is the one who is trying to feed off their souls. So, of course, this song is trying to lure them in and sort of put them into a trance, which it does.
Yeah, you could easily interpret this as the demon singing to the crowd, but this could just easily be interpreted as Guima talking to the demons, preaching to the choir. He's preaching to the demons, and then the craziest thing, if you think about it in this interpretation, after that line, the choir says, "Pray for me now," because they're demons and they're suffering under his control. It's so well made.
Isn't it? And you know, like you were saying, that's like play me on repeat in your head. It reminded me of if you're a demon, he's always in your head. So Huntrix had a diss track for Soulja Boys. Parts of this song almost feel like a diss track to Huntrix too. I mean, there's the line that says, "Don't let it show, keep it all inside. The pain and the shame, keep it out of sight." That is a theme throughout this entire film. We are hunters, fierce and
Exactly.
strong. Our faults and fears must never be seen.
Exactly. And rather than that, like, keeping the demons at bay, no, it only makes them worse.
He says, "Watch me set your world on fire, you're lost in my days, yeah, you can't look away." Everyone's in this hypnotic state if he's talking, but it's also kind of playing to the fact that these fans are looking at the Soulja Boys and they're obsessed with them.
I must say, extra points, because the first time I watched this film, when the whole song was playing, I really thought the story was cooked. I was like, Rumi looks like she turned evil.
Yeah.
The other two, they're kind of like in a daze, controlled by the demons. It really felt like it was all hopeless. And I think that was such a cool moment. I was really like, oh my god, how are we gonna get out of this?
And there's like a really cool lyric switch up there. First they say, "Don't you know I'm here to save you?" And then the last lyric is, "No one is coming to save you." So it's like, as the song goes on, there is this like more sinister tone that keeps coming throughout it. Another example of that is also how it's, "I can be the star you rely on, so like you can trust me." But then it says, "Watch me set your world on fire." And you know, there's a heavy imagery of flames and fire. Like Guima, he is
Yep.
literally flames, but if you look at the lyrics to the Dies Irae at the beginning,
They didn't directly take the Dies Irae word for word, but they adapted it in a way that works better with the context.
yeah, because I believe it translates to something like "Day of Wrath,
We'll turn the earth to ash.
you will be cursed in flame for eternity." So it's very damning.
Yep.
So much of this is like symbolism of religion.
Which again plays on the outside of the context of the film theme of toxic relationships with idols and like people you worship.
And also talking about like the actual instrumentation of how that reflects it too. Like they use organ in this. Dramatic strings. It's in a minor key, so it's supposed to be daunting.
In the production, they have a synth drone that's like a resampled choir. It goes really low and it plays throughout. It is so effective, again, highlighting that church imagery.
We associate everything from the organ to choir that's singing, and in this instance it's a male choir, which probably makes it sound that
Yeah.
much more daunting as well. Like all of that.
I think this has musically the best moment in the whole film. Right before the final chorus, I guess you could say it's the bridge. Listen, cause I'm preaching to the choir. Oh, they do a metric change-up.
It does throw you off. I could try counting it out, but we think it's like a bar of 4/4, bar of 3/4, and then goes back to 4/4 again. So that shift, it throws you off kilter, and then it's made all the more powerful by that punch of like the choir that comes in after.
The choir punch is like, oh!
Yeah, exactly. It's like when you're all apart and listen, cause I'm preaching to the choir. Can I get the mic a little higher?
And then the accompaniment changes up. It's the same key, but I think the chords are slightly different.
There's some more runs. Give me a desire. He's like switching it up with the melody sometimes.
I think it just, more than anything, culminates the tension.
It does.
And the drama of the whole song.
It does, definitely. We talked about how there's a very hypnotic feeling to this song, and I think that's also helped by the specific rhyming scheme that they use. I picked this up just in the chorus. Listen, cause I'm preaching to the choir. Can I get the mic a little higher? Give me your desire, watch me set your world on fire. It's repetitive.
Yeah.
It's like this thing of it's reeling you in. Up until that point, the rhyme is pretty constant. Choir, higher, desire. But the fourth one in, I think, the first chorus is I can be the star you rely on. So rely on is an imperfect rhyme in that sense. It's being sneaky, it's like there's something that's not quite right about this situation, and that's how I'm kind of reading it.
Alright, so does it beat Soda Pop?
Yes.
Let's skip the first few. Does it beat Golden?
Yes.
Does it beat Takedown? I think this easily beats Takedown, dude.
You've been so, stuck in gothic kind of land with your music writing that it's no wonder that this is definitely something that speaks to you.
Yeah, if you listen to the musical I made, all the, organ stuff and the choirs and everything is, that's right up my alley.
Yeah, go check it out, guys. It's called Ignoble Descent, and it's on all streaming platforms.
Shameless plug. So, did I convince you, does it beat Takedown for you? Plus, Takedown didn't have the bridge in the film.
It didn't have the bridge in the film, oh no. Is this gonna be the deciding factor for all of them? It's just well, it didn't have the bridge in the film, so this one is better. Yeah. I think it could go above Takedown. I think I would personally be happy either way.
The demons won.
The demons are taking over.
But does it beat How It's Done?
No, I don't think it does.
Convince me.
How It's Done has got a mixture of every attitude. It's got rapping, it's got insane vocals, it's got a pre-chorus that's got amazing vocals.
I mean, I would argue Your Idol is the one that best showcased the different Saja Boys roles in the band.
I know. I stand by my decision.
Okay, I can concede it.
This last one is where it's gonna mess it all up for me because I have no freaking clue where I'm going to put this song. Ooh. Right, to the next one.
Right, this is what it sounds like. Wish I'd here by your side. We broke into a million pieces and we can't go back. This is what it sounds like. We broke into a million truth after all this time. Our voices all combined. When dark, this is what it sounds like.
Chills. Ooh. Oh god, what a way to end this film.
Oh god, that is such a perfect climax. It's so good.
It keeps building.
I know.
It's just when you think it's hit its peak, it keeps going. I know we said this is probably the most cinematic song that's in here. Thinking about the scene that precedes this song, how it's, Rumi talking to Grima, she says something like, and the honeymoon is gone. Yes, it is. So we can build a new one. Phew, cut to black.
Yeah.
And then slight synth in the background, but mostly just solo vocals.
Yeah, mostly her voice.
And then you listen to it at the end and it's full on drums are popping off, choir is going in there. We're in 3-part harmony where it's everything is happening at once. I guess it's not just the instrumentation that keeps moving it forward and forward, it's also the fact that the literal tempo speeds up throughout the song.
Yeah, the tempo is constantly increasing.
Of course, this whole song is interrupted by a sequence in the middle, so they had to find a way to pick it back up again, which is why that bridge just works so well again to pick up the pace and get us back to where we were before. Originally, we said it was going to be Golden that was supposed to be the song that they thought was going to seal the honeymoon, right? But instead it's this one, and it's a much better option, A, because these characters they're not telling lies, they're not hiding behind a mask now, they're actually telling the truth, and B, the 3 girls They get solo lines throughout this.
Yeah, we have a lot more harmonies in unison here, a lot more of them like actually singing together, and also not just between the three of them, but with the choir sample that they use. Like in that bridge section, we hear all of them culminating with that big "this is what it sounds like." It's so powerful because everyone comes together in one voice.
You could say our voices all combined.
So thematically, this song kind of wraps up the conflict in the film pretty well.
The worst of what I came from, patterns I'm ashamed of. She is laying her truth bare.
Yes.
And it could not be more bare because there is no music to accompany her. Or in the pre-chorus, she's like, I tried to fix it, I tried to fight it. Through this whole film, she's been trying to deflect suspicion, make up excuses.
Her trying to work by herself, not trusting her friends. I don't know why I didn't trust you to be on my side. It makes so much sense now.
I wanted to mention this. There is this really good video that I found. I think it was on Instagram or TikTok or something. It's this guy called Brett Bowles who likes to do like breakdowns of songwriting. He analyzed this song and tried to come at it from the perspective of why is this song so catchy? Why does it sound so good? And up until the point of the chorus, there are these like chords that you expect to happen. In the chorus, the chords change ever so slightly, so with the melody that she sings, what used to be stable pitches become unstable pitches. You feel like you're like yearning for that resolution of going back to where you came from.
So many powerful lyrics here. The line of shattering the silence. It's breaking the generational trauma that all the Demon Slayers had to deal with, of like covering themselves up. They're like breaking free from the patterns. And like, why did we cover up the color stuck inside our head? The new Honmun is multicolored. Golden doesn't have to be the standard. They don't have to be this perfect thing. They can be whatever is most natural to them.
The lines that Zoe and Mira sing solo, it's very reflective of like their own troubles. Why did I cover up the colors stuck inside my head? I also read it as Zoe saying to herself like, why did I have doubt in like my creative abilities? And likewise with Mira, she says, I should have let the jagged edges meet the light instead. We know that she has quite a aggressive personality, so this line makes a lot of sense for her.
And I really think it's super powerful how this song follows up Your Idol. They both use choir, but whereas in Your Idol, the choir is like singing a counter melody, like being suppressed by the main vocals. Here, the choir harmonies are all singing together with the main vocals. It's so powerful. They claim their fans back. Oh, and we have to talk about how you hear the vocals from the score suite at the end. Not enough people talk about this. It's very subtle.
No, they don't. In the last chorus from the My Voice Without the Lies, in the final outro, if you listen very closely, you hear the choir singing the melody from score suites. It's also kind of the same melody of the We Are Hunters Voices Strong.
This is what it sounds like. My voice without the lies. This is what it sounds like. Fearless and undefined. This is what it sounds like.
And again, they're changing the past, changing the culture, I guess, of the hunters.
Yes.
They're no longer trying to just be perfect, because now even the ancestors are like singing with them. I think that's so powerful.
Yes! And it's like, it creates these musical bookends to the film, which makes it really satisfying as well. On top of that, you also hear the melody to Golden during the bridge. It's kind of like this sense that it wasn't one song that's gonna get you to accomplish this. Like, you need everyone's voice, you need multiple ideas.
I think you can interpret it also as, in that bridge section, the golden melody keeps going up until it hits the breaking point of this is what it sounds like. I think that's literally them breaking the generational trauma of the golden standard, because it keeps going up and it can't sustain itself, and then it breaks into this is what it sounds like, the new standard.
You can hear influence of lots of nods to Asian scales. I know in this song specifically, right after Mira sings, I should've let the jagged edges meet the light instead, there's like a really beautiful like pentatonic scale flourish that comes in the strings. So many textures are being layered on top until boom, Honmun sealed. I'm gonna be very conflicted about where to put this because I really like it.
Okay, beats Soda Pop, beats the score suite, beats Golden. Does it beat Takedown?
I think so. This is gonna be controversial. I think this one could potentially go on the top. If you combine everything from the vocals to the meaning behind the lyrics, let's be real, the meaning behind these lyrics is like the theme of the entire film.
It resolves all the conflicts, it fixes everything. It's kind of a culmination of the entire soundtrack, to be honest. Does it beat How It's Done, though?
There are so many emotional beats that happen in this story that makes it that much more impactful. We went on a whole movie journey within one song.
I will say, though, still in the context of the film, How It's Done is so cool. It's so cool. They jump off a plane.
This is hard to compare. Because How It's Done is the opening of the film, this is the closing of the film. How do you decide which one is better?
It does have a lot of repetition, though. That's a criticism.
It does have
repeats a lot.
That's the only thing. It's
Repeats
like the chorus does repeat a lot.
Which, in the context of the film, makes sense because it's broken up between action scenes and stuff and dialogue.
Yes. Yes.
But as a song, we're ranking songs.
Oh, but I do listen to How It's Done more.
How it sounds like kind of makes me like almost tear up. And it like really pulls on the heartstrings, but How It's Done moves you. It's powerful in a different way.
How can I disagree with Fit Check for my Napalm era? How can I disagree with that?
Alright, that's it.
Before we mention our final ranking, there's a few honorable mentions that we need to talk about. Obviously, we were just talking about the main songs in the film, so we weren't including songs that would have just included as a backdrop or sort of like a underscore to the rest of the scene. What we would talk about first is like Strategy by Twice. This song is so funky. I love it so much.
It's so good. It's so catchy. I love how big a role Twice had in the production of this film.
I like the choice of what they do with the harmony, where at the chorus they switch a chord that I believe should be minor to a major called the strategy.
There's a weird magic modulation in that chorus. It's very cool. And the production is so good.
But it matches the vibe of what is happening in the film at the time as well. It's chill, you know. It's fun.
All right, up next, we also want to talk about Jinu's Lament. It's such a cool way to introduce a character.
It is. I think it was actually the voice actor that voiced that instead of the singer for Jinu. It's a short little piece, mostly spoken. There's only about 4 lines where it's actually sung. But, you know, he's playing on his pipa. It sets the tone, you know, it's quite moody. It's short, but it works really well.
Love Maybe is the song that actually comes from Jinu's voice actor's old K-drama. It's the moment when Rumi and Jinu meet for the first time. It's so K-drama. All the editing is so over the top.
It's so funny. You know, like when he brushes her shoulder, the fact that it's edited to show that it happens multiple times, like an action camera from multiple angles.
Yeah, it's a pretty song though.
But it's an excellent choice of trying to create a stereotype, I suppose, with like the atmosphere you were trying to create.
And then there's Path. Where does this even show up? I don't remember. It's a chill song though.
It is a chill song. It's quite cute. It sounds very like 1960s-esque.
And that concludes the honorable mentions. Alex, lay it on us. What's the final standing of composers rank songs from K-pop Demon Hunters?
This was hard. Very hard. Like there's so many factors that were involved, and there may be some parts that we're not 100% certain on, but we're trying to find a middle ground here to try and rank it. So, our final order that we have for the songs that we've analysed, starting from the bottom to the top, we've got Soda Pop, then it's Score Suite, with vocals. Then we have Golden, which I think could be quite controversial. Next, we're putting Takedown. Next is Your Idol.
This song was written just for me.
Just for you.
It's scratching that part of my brain.
Again, listen to his music. And then in second place, we've put What It Sounds Like.
This was the hardest choice that we had to make.
Hardest choice ever. First place, How It's Done, Done, Done. It was hard because, honestly, there are so many songs in this ranking that I would put on par with each other. Like, no one is better than the other. And it's a very different context. If we were to rank these based on just their context within the film, I think the order would be slightly different. But also ranking them as standalone songs is also a different list, so I think we tried our best to combine them to come up with a list.
Yeah, a little look behind the scenes. While we were making a pilot for this video, me and Alex kind of did a tier list. The tier list, funnily enough, started at A tier, and then went A, S, S+, S++, and then Heaven.
Because no song is a C or D tier in this story.
All these songs, so many of them are on the same level, but have to be ruthless. Have to put some above the other. I probably like Your Idol more than How It's Done or what it sounds like, but objectively speaking, it is not as strong as the other two.
And of course, we could go into more musical detail that could probably sway our decisions, but I have had these songs too much on repeat in my head for the last week. I think if I dive too deep into this, I might just never come back.
What a good way to finally wrap this up.
Anyone who's watching, we'd love to know what you think of our ranking, and
call us crazy in the comments for putting Golden third from the bottom.
Yeah.
Thank you for the viewer attention.
And if you have a reason for why it should be different, we'd love to know your reasons.
Yeah, don't just call us stupid. Put a reason in.
But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this crazy all over the place video.
Thank you for having me, Alex. Love being in your channel.
I'm linking your account, and thanks for doing this with me.
Find my stuff. Find my stuff. I'm pointing at something, so you better put something there.
Find my stuff too. We've got new stuff coming out soon. But thank you for watching.
Bye.